So welcome. Thank you everyone for joining us today. It's really, really lovely to be here today. I hope wherever you are in Victoria, you are safe and looking after your mental health and being kind to yourself. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to kick this off because time is precious for all of us. So I don't want to take up all of your day, but I really appreciate you being here with us. So just firstly, let me kick this off by welcoming you to the Digital Marketing Essentials, which we have here through Melbourne Innovation Centre. With the Digital Solutions Program, it's a digital advisory service provided direct education and mentorship from digital experts to assist small businesses to help build their digital capability. So thank you for joining us. Through this program, which you have all registered through, you're all eligible for a range of workshops, webinars and online materials such as this, and up to 4 hours of add-on paid mentoring. So if it's subject to availability, so it's 2 hours for $25. So that's an absolute bargain where you get access to leaders in this space, such as myself. It's available till the 31st of August 2021. So please contact Melbourne Innovation as soon as you can to reach out for this. Hello to people who are being so wonderful and introducing themselves to me. This is really, really great. What I would really love is if you could use this chat, because I do refer to it throughout this session, because this is my way of ensuring that the content is directly relating to you. So welcome Anna, Kenneth, Kristen, Dean, Nicola, and Anna Marie. It's really beautiful to have you all here. Nicola, I've been into your store, Merchants of Moston. It's absolutely fabulous. I really enjoy it. So welcome. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Lee. I'm a business and brand strategist with a pretty strong digital expertise, and I'm the managing director of a business called The Good Hands. And The Good Hands is based in Kyneton, Victoria, regional Victoria, but we service a client base that's quite global. So we have clients that are in other countries, but we have local businesses as well. We are deeply passionate about the small business ecosystem and entrepreneurship and startups, which is why we're really proud of our relationship with Melbourne Innovation, who have the same value alignment to small businesses. I've got 20 plus years experience in government, tech, corporate, creative. I've had a very, very hybrid career, and now that I'm a mature lady in my 40s, I'm able to synthesize all of this knowledge, and I have a really good sort of optics on approaches for many, many different businesses. I can provide one-on-one customizable mentoring through Melbourne Innovation. If you are interested, please reach out to the people at Melbourne Innovation directly. Unfortunately, I can't take the booking directly. You'll have to do it through them. Welcome everyone else who is joining us. So great to see so much diversity. This is really, really fantastic. So another thing that I encourage in these sessions is, and particularly because we're all in a state of isolation, if you will, is network. If you see someone in this chat that might have something that might inspire you or your business, or you see opportunities to collaborate or share, contact each other, reach out to each other, put your Instagram or your social media credentials within your login. Gosh, not your login. Don't give away that detail. Just what your Instagram handle is, and then people can find you and contact you. So if you think there's an opportunity, please do use this time to build your networks, build your knowledge. This is what I really hope to help from today. Before we dive in, a little bit of, this is not homework. This is just to help me understand you a little more. What brings you here, and what do you hope to get out of today? So today's session is about the digital marketing essentials, and really we're going to touch on the 101. We're not going to go deep diving into all the tools. We're going to talk a little bit about some of them, but it's really so you understand the ecosystem and how it might help your business to get to where you want to be. So if you've got a second, tell me what brings you here. What do you hope to get out of today's session? Thank you, everyone who's introduced themselves. While you have a think about what brings you here and what you hope to get out of today, I'm just going to have a look at some of these names. Great. This is fantastic. There's a real diversity of businesses, and I'm really excited to see how we can help. So planning social posts and being consistent in posting and growing audiences. So Nicola, that's a really interesting goal. I think what we can do today is we can cover on some of that. What I think one of the hardest things about that is consistency is something you have to build into your business. And one of the things about digital marketing is you have to build in marketing just as you would service delivery. So if you're, in your case, with your business, while many people would spend 5 days a week working on their business, you need to dedicate time in your business week to not be working on, like, in the business and doing, servicing clients and making money, but you need to put time aside to actually do your marketing. So that is one of the main things that I would recommend to businesses to do that. Fantastic. These are amazing. Excellent. Thank you so much for everyone to putting their Instagram details in there. This is really great. So Kristen from Juliana in Bendigo's put her details up. Wonderful. This is great. All right. Without further ado, let's kick it off. What we hope to cover today is, what is digital marketing? We want to talk about developing a digital strategy. We're going to talk a little bit about email marketing. We're talking a little bit about search engine marketing and SEO. We're talking a little bit about remarketing. We're going to talk about managing online reviews, and we're going to talk about Google My Business. We do not really cover anything about social media in here, but we can have a conversation about that because I see that a lot of people have covered off that they would love to know a little bit more. So let's go for it. What is digital marketing? What is it? So marketing, let's talk about marketing. Marketing is about reaching and connecting with the right people at the best time with a compelling message and a great experience. The goal is for people to know you, choose you over others, stay loyal to you, and recommend you to others. Sales, on the other hand, is purely about the exchange of goods and services for money. So don't ever confuse the idea about marketing and sales. They are two different things. So we are, in our business, we do marketing, a lot of marketing services for people. And if people come and say, look, I need more sales, why aren't you getting me sales? And the absolute nuts and bolts of it is that marketing isn't sales. A salesperson does the sales. Marketing is a way of getting people's attention, connecting to the right people at the best time, and giving them a great experience. So the goal is for you to know and choose who the people are that would like your business service. One of the great misconceptions that people have is when you say, well, who is your customer? And the response that I've had previously from other clients is, oh, well, everyone's my customer. That is actually not the case. Not everyone is your customer. Have a look at the cafes in your neighbourhood. Do you visit all of the cafes, or do you have one preferred cafe? What is the reason you would choose that cafe over another one? It is because either their marketing or the experience is something that you personally enjoy. So have a think about the difference for you in what is marketing and what is sales in your business. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. How did we market way back when? How do we measure our marketing efforts? So have a look at that screen and tell me, what do you see? What do you see in this image? Any word that pops into your head, pop it into the theme. So what the woman is saying, you mean a woman can open it? So we know that marketing has fundamentally changed since the days of print. This is a print ad. Let's have a think about it. Anyone got any comments about this ad? Sexism, absolutely. Number one thing that jumped out at me too when I saw this. It is really sexist, and it's talking directly to a female market. So they're talking to women. So they're trying to target the audience. So what's different is it's one-way communication. It's a very text-heavy ad. It has limited channels. So where would you have previously seen this ad? You probably would have seen it in a newspaper or a magazine. You may have even seen it on maybe a TV commercial, but limited channels. And the measurement for the success of it, something like this, was very, very hard. You couldn't tell if it was hitting the right targets or not. That's how we did it way back then. And this is what we do now. How do we market today? How do we measure these efforts and to know if we're succeeding or we're failing? And what can we measure? These are really big questions to ask when we think about marketing and we think about digital marketing. The thing about digital marketing in particular now, it's about two-way communication. It's not just putting out a message where people just see it and they go, oh, I'll have to buy that because that's all that's available to me. It's a two-way communication stream in many cases. Computers and new tech means there's more channels. There's a focus is on the consumer, and it's not so much on me, it's about you. Measurement is so much easier. We have the tools to be able to measure what we're trying to achieve. There's more competition. Who feels that pressure online? I certainly do. But one benefit of it, there is more strategic opportunities with that. So then versus now, this is a little bit about, you know, how we used to do things, the rise of inbound and customer-centered marketing. So previously, traditionally, people used to do cold calling, cold emails or spam. Who still gets heaps of those in their inbox? Interruptive ads, so television, you'd be watching a show and then someone would start shouting at you about buying a certain product. And it was very marketer-centric. So it was all about the person pushing the idea. So now with digital marketing, it's, you know, inbound. So it's about SEO, blogging, you attract, it's about customers. It's all very focused on who the customer is. So now we know about marketing. What is digital marketing? So digital marketing is the component of marketing that utilizes internet and online-based digital technologies such as desktop computers, mobile phones, and other digital media and platforms to promote products and services. So it's not to sell, it is to promote. Digital marketing is the same as marketing. While we've changed and evolved the way we get our message out, marketing still remains marketing. It is still about the promotion of products and services and finding out who the right customer is to sell that. So that is one of the big things. People feel so overwhelmed and go, I don't understand. It's all very confusing. It's really simple. Digital marketing is the umbrella term for all your online marketing efforts. So if you have a website, welcome to digital marketing. If you have a social media account, welcome to online marketing. If you have a Google My Business page, welcome. You are part of the digital marketing ecosystem. Marketing is just a term for how you can get your message out to the world. So what we're going to talk a little bit about is digital strategy. So before you sort of start kind of rolling out your digital marketing, you need a strategy. One of the big obstacles many businesses have is they feel that they should be doing everything. And I mean, I'm certainly guilty of that. But when you think about your marketing efforts, a lot of people go, well, I need to be on Facebook and I need to be on Instagram and I need a website and I probably need to do SEO and I probably need a MailChimp and I probably need to do, everyone feels a bit overwhelmed, right? Because you feel like you need a whole marketing team to get your message out. It is probably because you don't have a strategy as to what you actually want to achieve from your marketing and for your business. So this is the first step. Before you start picking a tool for your business, you need to take a step back and have a strategy for what you're trying to achieve. So a strategy really is creativity plus the science plus a strategy. This is how your digital marketing will roll out. And it has to be aligned to clear, actionable goals. It's really important to think about before you start picking a tool and start pushing messages out. Think about what you're trying to achieve. So what is a digital marketing strategy? Let's break it down a little more. A digital marketing strategy is an important part of the overall marketing mix of a business, regardless of its size or whether or not it's doing business online. A small business that is doing most or all of its business online will probably need to embrace digital marketing strategy that helps online users see it. So if you've got an e-commerce site and not a bricks and mortar shop and you're selling clothes, you will probably need to consider digital marketing as a way to attract your audience. It's not like you've got a shop on a high street that people walk past every day and they go, oh, I might pop in there and buy a pair of slippers or whatever it is that you're going to buy. So you'll need to consider that as part of your strategy. Let's break it down a little bit more. So digital is the umbrella term used to capture a broad base of online or web accessible media, channels, technologies, or devices such as websites, banners, social media, digital signage, mobile, and more. A strategy is the recommended approach to achieve a set of goals or objectives. And digital strategies will then provide measurable direction on how to use digital to achieve a vision and its specific business, brand, or marketing objective. Does anyone have any questions about that? I hope that makes sense. If you think about this, I was working with someone who had an Instagram account and they spent all their time really pushing their content out there. And we spent a bit of time working with them and I said, well, look, who's your primary customer? Who is it that you are selling this service to? And they said, well, we really want to attract the aged care market. And I said, okay. So do you think a person who is in residential aged care would be on Instagram? And it hadn't even dawned on them. They're like, well, no, of course not. That people in aged care probably won't be on Instagram. But the people that might be on Instagram might be their grandchildren or their older children. They might be on social media, or it might be people who work within the facility. So thinking about who you're trying to approach will be part of your strategy. So when you're developing a digital strategy, here's the 5 steps that we would recommend to keep it really easy. And if you want to do a screenshot of this, go for it. Otherwise, these slides will be available after the presentation. I believe Melbourne Innovation will be sending these to you, or I think you can email them. So let's talk about it. Step 1, identify your business goals. What are your goals? In many cases, people say, we want more customers. We want money. We want to make money. We want more customers. That's a goal, but the goal could be something different. We want to be known as the go-to for kids' leisure wear. So when you think about the company like Oodie, who knows about Oodie, which is an Australian company that make these sort of like dressing gowns / ponchos for kids with really cute prints on it. When they started the business, was their goal, we want to make so much money and that's what our goal is? What I think one of their goals is create a brand that captivates children and families and becomes the most, a go-to item for people at home. So think about, I don't know if that's one of their goals, but it wouldn't have been, we just want to make $1 million. It would have been something more specific. So you need to identify what your business goal is. So if you're a landscaper and you're based in a certain suburb, you might want to be the landscaper of choice in this region. Andreas is saying they developed a very smart digital strategy from beginning to end. They absolutely did, because it was all about the strategy. It wasn't actually about whether the product was any good. Not that I'm saying the product's bad because I've never used the product, but I know what an Oodie is. I know what it's for. It is a lounge wear poncho that is a bit like a dressing gown that you wear at home. It has become synonymous. The name has become synonymous with its own style because it's a poncho, but it's an Oodie. So it's created something, and it was all about the strategy. Do your market research? Well, they knew who to captivate, didn't they? Since we're talking about Oodie, and since Andreas has brought up, yes, absolutely. They did their market research. Who is the most important person in their decision-making? Mum and kids. Mum would look at it and go, oh, little Toby would probably love this. We should get that for his birthday. He loves avocados, or he loves pugs, all the prints that they have that are very children friendly. So they understood their market, and they understood what was going on in the children's apparel space. They did their marketing research. Then the next thing is they selected the right platform. So where did they go? So they did a heavy digital marketing campaign through ads, through sales, through Facebook, through, so they would have had a Google account. We'll go into this a bit more, but that's where they did it. You don't find it on Instagram straight away, especially products. You usually find, you probably find a service on Instagram through either word of mouth or an ad might approach you first. They implemented and they were consistent. So someone else said they want to be more consistent. Well, this is part of your digital strategy. You need to work out ways to do it. So what is the right platform? Who is your market? And then step 5 is about measuring and evaluating. These are the steps. This is about creating a digital strategy for your business. So let's go back to number 1, identify your business goals. So we talked a little bit about some examples, but let's talk a little bit deeper about what these examples might be. Attracting more interstate or international customers. This could be any business that is online might want more of this. You might want to increase sponsorship activity. So if you're an NFP and you want more sponsors or more partners to fund your NFP, that might be what you're looking at. Cutting overhead costs or having a physical store. Well, COVID has certainly changed that landscape, where a lot of businesses in 2020, and still the trend continues in 2021, are looking at cutting their costs because, the margins are much tighter. They might not need a physical store. They might look at having an online store where people can buy. They might want to improve feedback from customers. So they may have previously had a really poor customer experience, and they might want to improve that. So that's what their digital strategy might cover. They might want to increase brand awareness. That's a huge one for many, many businesses. Certainly something for us that we are always trying to achieve, but this is what a lot of people want. So the other one is sell more products online. So see how none of it really is, I want to make money. The goals are measurable. They are measurable. Making money is not, sure, you can look at your bank balance, but it's really about trying to find ways that you can measure your success. Step 2, let's talk about market research. So just start by surfing the internet to see what other sites are doing and how they're doing it. This is not you copying other people's ideas. This is you having a really strong understanding about the ecosystem that you're moving through. So if you're a landscaper, if you're an artist, if you're you're selling it, you've got a cafe, what's happening out there? How are other people promoting their services? What social platforms are they using? Is their website user-friendly and easy to navigate? Does their content provide me with something valuable? I had a fantastic conversation this week with an intern that's working with us. So she's a university student, and she's working as part of her project on a digital strategy for Instagram for one of our clients. And one of the things that she brought up that I had not even considered was, and it was because I hadn't fully evolved my research, is the evolution of TikTok in influencing people's consumer choices. So the content that I was providing to younger audiences, our team were providing to younger audiences, and by that I'm talking about, 18 to 30-year-olds, they weren't engaging with the platform very well that we were putting content out. And one of the things that she said is that her peers make decisions about where they go to lunch, where they might go for a weekend drive, because they look at TikTok. Because TikTok is a video tool that shares that experience in a bit more depth than you previously could get on Instagram. So she found the content that we were providing was not valuable to her and the people that we were trying to attract. So our market research had not covered that. So it's really interesting when you think, well, is my customer a younger person? Where are they going to get content from? Where are they going to find out about it? And so you need to make sure that it is valuable to the audience. Just because you like the picture, just because you think it's interesting to you, you are not your customer. You need to go and ask them. Getting the right platforms. So what is the right platform? So we already sort of covered off on the anecdote about trying to attract aged care customers through Instagram, and us not covering off TikTok for, when we're really trying to attract, an influencer community from who are 20 years old. What is the right platform for you? And there's a lot of, and this is part of your own market research as well, but there is a lot of data online about ages and demographics that are attracted to any of these platforms. So to determine the right platform, consider your target audience. Who's your customer? Once you've narrowed the platforms you want to use, you can work on building your messaging from there. Okay, so your platforms could be your website, could be Twitter, could be online forums, blogs, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok, email marketing, YouTube, Google Business. What is the platform that you want to use for your marketing? So if you are a landscape gardener and you want to attract a local clientele, where will they be? Where will they be? So people who can afford the services might be 35 to 65-year-old people who have a bit more disposable cash and they want to pay someone else to take care of the problem of the landscaping for them. So think about where they might be. Where will they hang out online? Will they Google landscaper near me? So quite possibly. So you'd probably need to get a pretty solid Google profile happening. Will they use email marketing? Well, if they already know about you, they may engage with emails. My parents use email marketing, they like to receive email marketing, because if they have a trusted source and the email comes to them, they will read it. A website, absolutely, but you've got to understand also when you're building a website, make sure that the user experience on your website is for your market and not just something that's pretty for you. Maya is saying, can one use all social media platforms if the business caters to all demographics? You absolutely can use all of them. My advice is to do one or two really, really well and test it and see if you can build from that. One of the businesses that came to my attention last year through lockdowns is this incredible business, which is founded by two young women in Victoria who, through lockdowns, went, we can't go out and enjoy our bubble tea. They like to go out with their friends and drink bubble tea. So they created a startup called the Bubble Tea Club. You can have a look at that and Google it. They're an amazing, amazing startup who are doing absolutely incredible. They're basically reinvented their whole lives and have created this very successful startup. But they used Instagram and TikTok so perfectly that they built a business on the back of that. So they used it so well that they built a business. So yes, you can use everything, but it's pretty exhausting to optimize your content and just keep refining it as well as run your business. So my suggestion is do one or two really well. So get your website perfect, get your Google business running really well, and pick one or two that you can manage. It's a lot to manage. Implement and be consistent. So this is what we've just touched on. Ensure your brand message is consistent with your business vision. Avoid putting out information that contradicts your business goals and your previous messages. Engage with customers on a personal level is key to seeing results. So implement a brand message that is genuine and relevant to your target audience. So one of the things that a lot of people find is if you put photos of people or business owners within their Instagram pictures, customers generally engage with it pretty well. So think about what works. But again, implementation is also about testing. So if you're sending out a lot of content or spending a lot of time on social media and you're not getting any engagement and no one knows about the brand, then you have a problem. Like you're not actually going back to your goals and saying, well, am I meeting my goals? So you have to go back and be creative and go, well, it's not working. What can I do differently to increase this? Measure and evaluate. So how can you measure the impact of your digital strategy? Number of fans and followers, number of newsletter subscribers or members, number of unique visitors or click-through rates to your website, number of inquiries, so how many times the phone rings, how many times emails you get, how many people touch your online contact form. So calculating the number of visitors or followers who convert to sales is another measure. So if you have an online book now website and you get some calls from that, then you know your digital marketing tactics are working. 5 steps. In between that, there's a number of other actions, but this is what you need to do to build a promising digital strategy for your business. So here's a bit of a success equation. Plan plus resources, and the way you execute it is how you will succeed. So the way you execute it is your creativity and the little bit of magic that comes with marketing. Telling your own personal story. I've seen some people just talk a camera every single day and build great businesses from that. They've had nothing much more than a ring light and a smartphone, and they've built huge businesses off that. It doesn't have to be costing you a lot of time and a lot of money, but it has to be about the way you execute it. So if you are someone that people need to build trust with before they make a purchasing decision, this is part of how you build that success, is planning plus resources and the way you execute. So let's talk a little bit about who is your customer, because not everyone is your customer. And if you think that about your business, you are wrong. Amazon doesn't think everyone is their customer. They absolutely don't. They know that people want, their customers are people who want convenience, things delivered in a timely manner, things where they can do some cost comparisons, but they're not for everyone. Everyone is not their customer, and they understand that. And they've created data, they've got data profiles that will help substantiate who their customer is and how they can target them. So a good way to start is to develop some personas. And I think for every business, it's really important that you develop 3 of them, because then you can be really specific with your marketing tactics to ensure that you understand who people are. So what we're doing with a persona is imagine a real person who will be buying from you. Who is that person? What are their goals and their pain points? Why would they come to you and not someone else? What do they like and what don't they like? Where do they hang out? So digitally. So, is it someone that's going to be on TikTok? Is my 74-year-old mother going to be on TikTok? Probably not. How can you make their life better? What is it? Is it a sense of community? Is it that someone's always kind to them? How do you get in their heads, stand in their shoes and see the world? How do they do that? So this is your job before you develop a digital strategy, before you pick any single tool, before you say, right, I better get on Instagram and I better get on Facebook and I better build a website, I better get Google My Business, I should be doing TikTok. But what about that email marketing? Wait, develop 3 personas. Create a name. One of the things I do with personas is I use the internet and I'll find pictures of people that look like my persona. I'm going to show you. Here's an example of a persona. You don't have to be too complicated with it, but you look at this picture and you already know what the story is. This is Cheryl. She's a mother of 2 and she's in her early 30s. She's a health nut. Everything is organic. She likes arts and crafts. She enjoys cooking, not so much the cleaning. She's part of a few mothers groups online. She's quite tech savvy, researches a lot before she purchases, and is in need of a break of her busy life. So when you look at this picture, you can already sort of tell that Cheryl is struggling a bit. She's, she looks like she's a professional as well. She's dressed like a professional. She's got a young child. She looks stressed and harried. So here is how you can then think about your customers and go, well, she needs some help. So what is it that we can do to help her? So when you think about your own business, think about that. So you might be a domestic cleaner. You might go to people's houses and do domestic cleaning. So you could build a persona around that. You could say, Lee, mother of 2, runs a really busy agency. She enjoys her downtime with her family and friends by eating out and traveling. She loves cooking, but she has very little time. She's time poor because she's either working or with her kids. The thing that slips at her house is cleaning the house properly, like, doing bathrooms and mopping, because she hasn't got the time. So what can a cleaner do? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So Katie has put an audience persona there if anyone wants to look at it. But yeah, so when you think about who your customer persona is, what problem are you solving? Who is the person? Think about it in relation to the cost price that you might have for your product as well. So if you're selling a premium service, not every person will be able to afford that. So think really specifically about that. A little bit about fans and followers. Oh, you think having fans makes you so cool, huh? Well, yeah, it can actually, but there's something that you should also remember. Fans and followers don't necessarily mean sales. or engagement. Yeah. I follow a lot of people on social media, and I tell you what, I follow a lot of them just to do my research. It's not because I have any interest in buying from them. I do it for research. I am a culture vulture. I am very, very interested in what's happening in the world. So I follow lots of people and lots of different platforms in order to absorb and understand what's happening around me. So someone may look at that and go, wow, I've got heaps of fans. Well, maybe not, because I'm never going to buy from you. Remember that fans and followers can be a vanity metric. So if it isn't aligned with your goals, fans and followers might not necessarily mean success for your business. Just keep that in mind, because a lot of people chase the number. They go, I want 50,000 followers by Christmas. It's like, well, is it really going to sell more product, or are you going to be able to make more out of that? So the next step for you from here is developing a digital roadmap. A digital roadmap is basically a basic plan for you to map out your marketing actions you need to succeed in your business. So a lot of people just jump straight in. That's okay, but it's part of your map. What do you need to do? It doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to work for you and your business. It could be a one-pager. It could be just you typing notes on your notes app in your phone. A digital roadmap is, what are you going to do next? Aligned with why you're going to do it. Now you know who your customer is. Now you know what platform they're on. Now you know what messages you need to try and say to those people. This is what you do next. This is just a really, really basic digital roadmap. You don't even have to do it this complicated. I mean, not that this is complicated, but this is just something that's been knocked up in Word. So you'll see on the far column, we've got the title of what needs to be done, and then a description of what more specifically what needs to be done, the value of the business and the effort required in order to do that. So let's look at the first one, website homepage with a contact number. A simple homepage with a contact number so that customers can call you. So if you're a startup business, or if you're just new to small business, this might be all you need or all you can afford initially to get it off the ground. Pretty high value, because websites in terms of digital marketing are generally pretty high value because they qualify businesses. They're one thing that actually supports the qualification of a business. So people go, well, I'll Google them and I'll try and find them. And they look at a website, and then that will be part of many people's decision making. It's also a communications channel for people, so they'll contact you through that way. So the effort might be a 3 out of 10. The next thing you might want to do is take payments online. So you might allow your customers to take a payment via the website. This business value is high because it means that it frees you up, so you're not on the phone or doing FPOS. It means that it's automated through your website. The effort is a 9. It might be a bit harder for you to integrate that into your business. It depends also what platform you're using. You might be using if it's custom made website, you might need a developer to support you. But if you are using a template style website like a Squarespace or a Wix, you should be able to do it yourself, but it still takes a bit of effort to get that off the ground. Take an online booking for a room. I know one of the things in this sort of COVID world that we live in is that a lot of businesses have to take bookings for everything. So instead of people calling you and interrupting your service or whatever it is that you do, people will need to book online to get that. So it allows customers to book room or on a hostel or in your restaurant. Business value high. You want to make sure that you've got people booked in so you can know what your revenue will be in the next session. So the effort is going to probably be high, but the payoff is high. An inquiry form, so allow customers to inquire, so email sent to customer service. So the business value might be 7, effort might be a 2. So if you just create a small matrix for your business, you can understand where your effort needs to go. So I'll give you an example. Our business has an Instagram account. We don't put a huge amount of effort into it because our marketing comes a lot from our relationships. Does that make sense? And through LinkedIn. So we invested a lot of time in LinkedIn and our relationships and our networking, but we do not oversaturate Instagram because primarily most of our customers come from other places. We have Google My Business where, we've got a website, we do all of that. But when I think about the effort required for me to optimize and post unique content every single day, to the business value that we need, it is a low priority in terms of what output and effort it will be for my business. So think about the effort required. I really feel sad for small businesses who just pump out social media content and they're not getting the return that they truly deserve. Because this matrix can help you understand, well, what is the value to my business of making sure that I have unique content for 4 different social media platforms? Because the effort is 10, yeah? So that's why I always say just do 1 or 2 really well and test it. Because if it's not working, there's no point doing it. So let's talk about one of the things that you could be doing in your business. So email marketing is an approach. So we're not going to talk too much about social media. There's a dearth of social media training online, and specifically about tools. Melbourne Innovation also offers fantastic, unique training on social media. This one is covering the 101s, the essentials about digital marketing, and we're going to cover off a few things, but we're not going to touch on every single one. But we're going to touch on a few specific tactics that could help. So I'm going to talk about email marketing. So let's talk about the basics. What is it? So it's sending emails with the purpose of enhancing the relationship of the business with its current customers and to encourage customer loyalty and repeat business. So if you were in a service business, so let's talk about services as opposed to goods. So if you're selling a product, it's a bit different. But if you're selling a service, email marketing works really, really well, because when you've had fantastic service from someone and someone says to you, hey, can you tell me, does anyone know a great plumber? If you've had great service, you recommend them and you're interested in continuing to engage with that business. Email marketing works like that. It is keeping the people that already like you engaged with your business so they continue to refer you to their friends and family. So service-based businesses, email marketing is a great tactic. Sending emails with the purpose of acquiring new customers or convincing current customers to purchase something immediately. So that's another way to do it. But you need to have access and permission to use their email address. Do not just take anyone's email address and pop it into your email toolbox, because that is illegal. It is a breach of their privacy. People need to opt in. So adding advertisements to email sent by other companies to their customers. So you might have some partnerships as well. But that's kind of the basics of what email marketing is. There are a number of platforms you can use for email marketing. Many are free or fee to use for the tools. The one you may have heard of the most is MailChimp. There's other ones called Constant Contact, Campaign Monitor, Sendinblue, or ConvertKit. They're all pretty comparable. We're going to talk a little bit about MailChimp today because it's probably the most common one that people use. And when people hear the word MailChimp, they generally think, oh, email marketing. So we're going to just talk a little bit about this. So what you can do with MailChimp is you can build your list and your database. You can build a database of customers and reach out to them. You can create templates and you can send a campaign and you can track your results. So does everyone understand what a campaign is? I'll explain what a campaign is in relation to email marketing. A campaign is when you have something that's specific that you want to share. So your campaign might be Christmas sale. You run a campaign around that. So you'll have some creative around that. You'll have words that are specific about that. You'll have a call to action about that. That is your campaign. The template is the email that you've designed to put the campaign into. And then you would send it as an email and then you would track the results. So the thing about MailChimp, plan 1 is forever free. You can get up to 2,000 subscribers for free. You can send 12,000 emails for free. It's pretty good for small businesses. If you have over 2,000 subscribers, the tiers increase and there's a cost to those. It really is about the frequency in which you use it and the value you get from your customers by using it. Here's a little bit, a few templates that I wanted to show you. These are just some examples that I saw online that I thought just were nice little basic designs. And the great thing about MailChimp is they can kind of design it with their own templates, and you just change the words to reflect your own messaging and upload your own photos. It's a really, really beautiful, simple tool to use, but it can have maximum impact. So these just are a little example of what an email template will look like and what a campaign is. So their campaign is welcome to Restabar. So it could be, we've opened a new restaurant. One of the emails that I subscribe to that I've been getting quite regular campaigns for is one of my favourite restaurants in Melbourne is as soon as there's a lockdown, they go, okay, folks, we've got limited online bookings for delivery. Jump on quick. So that's their campaign. The campaign is, we're back in lockdown. We want to make sure that we can keep our staff working. So we want to get people to pre-book food, and that's what they do. So with email marketing, what you need to do is you develop a campaign. So it could be advise of opening hours or a new menu. So the restaurant that I like in Melbourne who does this, they're like, okay, we're back open, but we're only open for these hours, and you have to book because we've only got 3 sessions a day. So, their campaign is about that. You can create a template, or you can use beautiful template helper within MailChimp. Really effective, really easy. And you can send your campaign. So ask your followers to join your mailing list. So if you're using social media, you can ask them if you want to find out more, or you want to be on the inside of, our hot tips, join our email campaign. And the great thing about MailChimp, it has fantastic analytics. So you can track results. You can find out such great granular information, such as geolocation, so where are people located, what time are people opening the emails, do they delete it, have they unsubscribed? So you can get really granular information about your mail campaign. And understanding that the results, about measuring, knows whether or not you're going to succeed with rolling out new campaigns. Really important tool, because it does all the tracking and measuring for you, and you just read a very, very handy report when you after you've sent a campaign out. Highly recommend it. Thing about email marketing with MailChimp, it uses predictive technology, so it can support your understanding of when your audience are online, or will open content to help reach the right audience and the right people. So this is just a bit of an understanding. So you've got predictive demographics. So they might say, based on your kind of customer, these kind of people and your location, these are the times, or here's the age range of the most people that are going to follow it. Really, really good. And the way the tech within a lot of these products is incredible, because it's a lot of this predictive technology that's emerging is really takes a lot of the guesswork out. So it's actually doing it for you. So a few hints and tips about email marketing. Keep subject line short and snappy. Don't labor on in the subject line. Just, new opening hours, lockdown 7, new opening hours, whatever it is, just keep it short and sweet. Have clear calls to action. What do you want your customer or prospect to do? Don't think that they care about every single thought that you have. You need to think about what they want and what they need. What do they want, or what do they need? Many people use MailChimp just to kind of go, I've got so much I want to share. I'm just going to just put all my thoughts in there and just send it out to my 500 subscribers. Unless you're someone of huge influence, what is the call to action? How are you going to make money from that? Don't abuse the privilege of having an audience or a platform by not considering what's in it for them. What is the call to action? So the call to action is, so if you want to do, you want to share your thoughts, make sure that you consider that the call to action will be, we have limited places in our next course. I would jump online today and subscribe, or book a ticket, or whatever it is. Calls to action are paramount. Link article pieces back to your website. So if you've got links, you've got new things in your website that you want to share, link back. It's SEO friendly. It helps people. Your website is a huge costly asset to your business. It's not just, might not have cost you much in terms of money, but the time to build it as well. It's a huge asset. You want people to read it. You want people to see it. All that beautiful work that you put into it. Link to it. Use it for that. Keep content relevant and valuable for your reader. This is about customer engagement. We live in such a time where we are overwhelmed with digital content that we're getting pretty good at picking at whether it's valuable or not and whether we want to continue engaging with it or not. So make sure it's relevant, make sure it's valuable. Do not think about yourself in this equation. You need to always put customer-centric, customer-centric. What is in it for them? I've dropped out of a lot of kind of people of influence that I used to follow because I think they forgot who their customers were or who their audience were, because it becomes a lot about ego and not about business to business or business to consumer. Think about the customer. Try different times a day. That's the other thing. And let the email tool help you with the optimal time. So it could be Tuesday morning, could be Friday morning. Usually Friday mornings are a good time to send an email. And I'll tell you why. By the end of the working week, people slow down a little bit, don't they? And the first thing they might do on a Friday morning is they'll open their computer and they'll grab a cup of coffee and they'll go through emails and then they'll stop and they go, I might just read this one. Monday morning, not so good. Tuesday, not so great. But think about where your customers are. Everyone, you still there? The link is frozen at your end. Is everyone else still there? Someone say hi. I think Muhammad's gone. Francisco, can you send me a message just to know that, yep, everyone's still there. Fantastic. Thank you. Beautiful. Woo, everyone's still here. Glad everyone's here. Is it useful? Is everyone finding this is, I'm trying to sort of cover off as much as we possibly can here. So let's talk about search engine marketing, or SEM. I'm going to use SEM a little bit just as an abbreviation. So what is it? Search engine marketing is a form of internet marketing that involves the promotion of websites by increasing the visibility in the search engine, and particularly pages when they're primarily through paid advertising. We'll talk about SEO in a minute, but firstly we're going to talk about SEM because this is part of digital marketing. The reason that I'm doing it this way is because there is so much information about how to use social media tools. These are some of the other things that a lot of people don't think about as part of their digital marketing mix, and this is why we're doing, we're providing this for you, okay? So what is search engine marketing? SEM is the short text ads which generally appear at the top or down the right-hand side of the search engine results. These ads are generally purchased from Google AdWords, and I'll give you an example of what it might look like. Camping equipment. When you Google camping equipment, the right-hand side of your search engine, and you know what? I could use Bing, I could use other search engines. I always use Google. Most people always use Google. These ads are paid for, and you could pay for ads too. And this could potentially be a great funnel for your business. This is part of digital marketing that not many people think about. They might invest days and days and days into Instagram and think it's for free. Think about the opportunity cost it was to you to post 5 unique posts a day or a week and go, well, geez, that time, if it's like, if I bill $100 an hour and it took me 3 hours to kind of do all the social media for 1 week, you could buy a $300 ad on search engine on Google and then potentially reach new people. Just think about the opportunity costs as well. So when you go, it costs money to pay for ads on Google. Yes, it does. But think about the opportunity cost to your time. Setting up photo shoots, setting up people to come in, and think about it that way as well. There's benefits here. So I use this stuff a lot, to be honest. The other day I was looking for, we are landscaping in our backyard at the moment, and we're getting a new deck built. And currently in our backyard we have an old timber barbecue outdoor table that is falling apart, and every time my children jump on it, I kind of lurch back because I'm sure it's going to collapse underneath them. So we're looking for a recycled plastic, durable table, and I've seen them and they're really beautiful, and there's some amazing styles and great innovation in that kind of recycled plastic being used for furniture materials. So I just Googled it. I typed it in, and then the shop for plastic picnic tables or barbecue tables came up in Google, and that's where I went straight away, because Google did the work for me, because someone had paid for an ad. And I found what I wanted straight away in this section on the side. So don't underestimate its power, especially if you're Googling a specific keyword search for it. So if you're saying camping equipment, and you go, well, oh God, I could labour over 150 pages, or well, in this case, how many search results? 4 million results, or I could just trust these ones. Because the chances are they're all going to be comparable costs. So here's a little bit of breakdown. So these top bits in yellow are the paid search results, and these ones on the right. So if you're looking at search engine marketing, for example, these are the search engines. And then if you're looking at organic search results, these are the top hits. And this is where SEO comes into it, which we're going to touch on in a minute. So SEO, there's a couple of things that we'll touch on about SEO, but we're going to talk about search engine marketing. So search engine marketing, the paid bits are the ones that come up the top. And because people are inherently lazy, we generally will click on them, particularly if there's a picture and particularly if it's shopping. So if you have a specific product that you want to pay for or buy, that's going to be there. So let's talk about the basic technology behind it. So the ad is the actual advertisement that will show up on Google. So one or more ads make up for an ad group. An impression. So we get impressions on other social media as well, but an impression is counted each time the ad is displayed on Google. So, on Facebook and in Instagram and in TikTok, you get impressions. So it's how many times your post will appear in other people's feeds. It's not 100% ever. A click occurs when a user sees your ad, clicks on the title or link of your ad, leading them to your website. So that's what you want people to do. You want them to see the ad and go, ooh, that interests me. Click. Then it moves on. And then we've got PPC versus PPI, which is pay per click or pay per impression. So what Google does, it doesn't say for a set value of $300, you're going to get this. What it will do is give you an option of how much you will pay per click. So if you get a click, Google will take $1 or whatever it is. I don't know. It really depends on how you set up your AdWords campaign, and pay per impression. So these are the values that you would pay for the service. When people think about the power of Google, it's not just because of all the data that they harvest from us as users. They make all their money from ads. So this is their services. They provide free search. They get all our data, but they make cash from this. And it's the same with Facebook. Free to use, but morally and ethically there's some stuff going on there. But anyway, that's for another conversation. So with setting up a campaign in search engine marketing, what you need to do is set up a goal. So if you're selling a product, you might want people to buy your product. So you create an AdWords account in Google. That's the first part of this tier. And it's pretty straightforward how to do that. You would go to Google and set up an AdWords campaign. Then you create a campaign. Then you create an ad group, and then the keywords and the text. So the ad group is your audience and your geography. So if you only want Australian customers or people in your local area, or only women or only children, that would be the information you would put in your ad group. And then the following bit is what you're offering. So it might be organic, fresh roasted coffee beans. That's where your keywords are. And you would add your text and then a link to the landing page where people can buy it. That is the basic premise and the hierarchy of setting up an ad in search engine marketing. So what you need to do is also refer back to your campaign goals. So what do you want people to do? Each should have a common theme, and you need to create a focus. So you've got 3 different ad groups that you can set up in ad group. And this one's about coffee. So think about when you do this type of work, and you need to think about, what is your customer thinking? what is the customer going to buy? So gourmet coffee beans. So if you're Googling, I want to buy gourmet coffee beans, or I want to do ethical coffee beans, that would be the keywords that you would put in there, because that's what people would be searching for. Shade grown and organic coffee beans is the second ad group, and flavored coffee beans. So if people like vanilla coffee beans, would be your third ad group. So can you see, when we were talking 10, 15 slides back about a digital strategy, regardless of what platform you're using, all of this factors into that. So with you just kind of doing like a scattergun, I'm just going to try everything and hope something lands, but doing it like this, you're more likely to hit your target and attract them. So slow your mind down and think about, what is in this for my customer, and how will my customer want to find me? Gourmet coffee beans. It could be landscaping. It could be affordable app development. Whatever it is that you want to find, you don't want to use words like cheap, but you want people to know that you are in their mind. You know what they want. And because your customer goes, that person gets me, I'm going to go with them. This is how people make decisions. There are three things that people buy. You might think it's the product or service that you're selling. It's actually not. It's an outcome of what people are looking for. People are looking for more time, less stress, and money. That's what people are looking for. So for me, when I was looking for a cleaner for my house, I needed more time in my life, I needed less stress in my life, and I was happy to pay money for it. But the reason I selected the cleaner for my house is because she was a young mum who needed some, flexibility around her life, and we met on a personal level. I went, this woman gets our life because she lives a similar life to me. She was talking in a way that she related to us. She understood the chaos of running a business and having a small family. So she was able to communicate to me on a personal level to take the stress away, to give more time, and I was able to make more money in my job because I was spending less time at home cleaning the bathroom. Simplify your marketing by thinking about what's in it for your customer, and set up your digital marketing strategy and your campaigns to relate to that. So if you go, I'm looking for gourmet coffee beans, I want it delivered to my house because I haven't got time to shop. And it takes a lot. It's a lot of labor doing research online, isn't it, as a consumer? Because it's really, there's so much information. So if you can set up your ad groups in in search engine marketing, so you take that stress away to give people more time, they will pay for it. Gourmet coffee beans. First hit, great. Someone's already done the thinking for me. I'll click on it, and then I'll go to the landing page, and then I'll make my decision. And then I'll go, actually, this person is for me. I will buy this. I'm willing to pay a little bit extra for less stress, more time. Does this make sense? I hope it makes sense, because people go, oh, this is too much information. It's actually real. That's right. What is in it for them? Always what's in it for them. Do not waffle on about how fantastic you are. No one cares. What is in it for them? Always think about that. Etwa Raboni, you've just put your hand up to speak. I'm happy to hear from you. So just pop in the chat or send it as a private message if you need to. So I'm glad people are starting to get this, because digital marketing can be simple if you think about what's in it for your customer. So when you're setting up an ad, which you will do in Google, you will set up an AdWords account. It's pretty simple. You set up your ads like this. The headline, a 25-character headline. The description, you get 2 lines of 35 characters, each to describe what you're after, and then you have a URL. Really simple. So it might be gourmet coffee beans, and then go, the best gourmet coffee beans roasted in Melbourne. Then your URL will be taking them to your website where they can click and buy. Here's how we're setting up the ads, okay? We've got 2 sections here, and we're going to talk about what's wrong and what's right. So let's look at 1A. We've got frothing latte bean. And then we've got the second bit, which is the description, which is, we have many different types of coffee beans that you love, LUV, and then they've taken them to their website. So that they've taken them to the destination URL. So what's wrong? Well, the headline focuses on the company's name instead of the core selling product that people are actually like keyword search. They're not looking for frothy latte bean. They're looking for coffee to buy. Nowhere in there says coffee. What's wrong with the descriptor? Well, the description is too general. It would be much better if it focused on specific products or services offered by the company, and it doesn't contain a call to action. What do you want people to do? In addition, love isn't a real word, and so it wouldn't meet the AdWords editorial guidelines. You need to make sure that it's words that people would look for. And then the URL description, it leads to the company's homepage rather than to a page promoting specific products or services. So what's in it for the customer? Make it easy for the customer, the path of least resistance for the customer. Take away the stress, give them more time. If I have to go to your website and search for the product that I was looking for, that I found on a Google ad, I would be clicking away. So you would be paying for my click, but you didn't actually get your money back because I didn't purchase. You need to make sure that you make it easy for people. Think about the steps. So David's saying his product is quite niche and ads weren't shown. So I wonder if that was about your keywords, David. That's an interesting one. So let's go and talk about what works, what you can do to make that ad work. So step 4 here is gourmet coffee beans. What they've said here is premium coffee beans, French roast, specialty blends buy now. And the destination URL is frothylattebeans.com/gourmet coffee. So what's right? The headline, it focuses on the specific offering and contains relevant keywords. So if I'm Googling, I'm not going to be Googling frothing latte bean. I'm probably going to be Googling gourmet coffee beans. And that will bring up the hit that you want. What's right? The description details specific product offerings and benefits. What's the benefit to me? Well, it's premium. It's a French roast, which is what we love. And they have specialty blends. And then with the destination URL, it takes you exactly to the lead page, the page that you will buy from. So when you're setting up an ad, these are the things that you need to think about. You can find keyword planners online. I'm going to show you where you can find them more specifically, but this is what you need to be thinking about. We're going to talk a little bit about women's hats here. Here is just basically a keyword planner and an example. So there's different kinds of matches that you can get for your keywords online. So you can get a broad match with a modifier, a phrase match. So a phrase match might be that frothing latte bean. So a phrase match could be if you actually know the business name, an exact match or a negative match. The specialty symbol that you would put in there is you can do things like a plus, you can do quotation marks, you can put brackets or a minus. The example keywords are women's hats. Just have a look here. And then the ads may be shown on searches that include misspelling, synonyms, relative searches in other relevant variations. So with keywords, this is not just exclusive to things like Google. If you use like Woolworths or Coles Online or any of those type of product apps and websites, many of the keyword matches would use a similar methodology so that if you misspell something, you'll still get a similar match. And it's a way for them to use modifiers in order for them to direct you to the right product because they want you to buy. They want you to find what you're looking for. None of these websites are set up for you to fail. They're actually set up for you to press click and buy. So when you're doing this, understand that there's thought behind why there's keyword matches because it's within Google's best interest for you to sell products because you will continue to use ads. So that's why they might accept misspellings or synonyms or related searches. When you're looking at broad match, they might contain modified versions or synonyms. So, you know, women's hat or not hats, they might use that. With a phrase match, a phrase or a close variation of that phrase. So we looked at frothing latte bean, that would be a phrase match. An exact match, sorry, that an exact match is, you know, like women's hats instead of I'm looking for hats. and are searches without the term. So they might bring up baseball caps instead. You just after hat, but you really were for women. So these are an example search of what people might be putting into Google. Buy ladies' hats, hats for women, buy women's hats, or baseball hats. So let's talk about SEO. So I showed you that screen before where we had what was search when you look at a home screen or when you look at a search screen on Google, what is SEM versus SEO. So here's the difference. So generally, search engine marketing refers to the paid search marketing, a system where businesses pay Google to show their ads in the search results. SEO is different because businesses don't pay Google for traffic or clicks. Rather, they earn a free spot in the search results by having the most relevant content for a given keyword search. Another thing about SEO that people need to be mindful of is it's not always about keywords. It's also about being popular. So Google rewards hits. So if your website has a lot of hits, Google will go, this is popular. We're going to rank it higher. And this is not just you hitting it every day. It's different, unique IP addresses. So if lots of people in your local area are looking for a boot maker, and they hit your website quite a lot, Google will naturally rank it, or they're curious about your business. That will rank you higher. So it's not always about keywords. Keywords are a huge part of it, but it's also about Google favors popularity. So as my business partner says when he teaches SEO to people, which he does, is instead of focusing just on keywords, just be popular. So make sure that people know your business. It doesn't always have to be through keywords. It could be through word of mouth. It could be you sharing your email news campaign with them and showing them a link back to your website, or your Instagram, do a link in bio and then they can come back to your website. All of those hits to your website helps your ranking go up. So a lot of people go, I haven't got the right keyword. I'm like, just be popular. Just bring people back to your website. Make sure that it's part of your funnel of information so people see you. So every day, search engines average 30 million searches conducted by people looking for information, product, and services. Without SEO, it is unlikely that your site will rank well within an engine to be found organically by potential prospects. So SEO works to help you be found. That's what you want. You want people to know who you are. So make sure that you include your website details wherever you possibly can. Google AdWords, there's a keyword planner, and this can help you with your SEO and SEM. So find the best keywords for your content. So adwords.google.com/keyword planner. And all you need to do to access that is log in or create an AdWords account. It is free to create an account. So if you have a Gmail account, it's pretty, next step is one more click. So that's a great way for you to find that. We're going to talk a little bit about remarketing. You're all going to be familiar with this because even if you don't know what the term means, you've been remarketed to and you probably already sense that. So remarketing is a way to connect with people who previously interacted with your website or mobile app. It allows you to strategically position your ads in front of the audiences as they browse Google or its partner websites, thus helping you increase your brand awareness or remind those audiences to make a purchase. Here's just a little screen from the Google network to share with you. So here's Google. So, Google's got this Google Search, Play, Google Shopping, Google Maps, Google Apps. And their search partners include YouTube, Amazon, New York Times, etc. And then the display network is YouTube, Blogger, different bloggers, Google Finance, AdSense, etc. So here's what remarketing with Google looks like. Your ad, so in the search network, your ad shows up in Google search engine results for keywords you're targeting. So you might be, keyword might be ladies' hats. People are actively researching your keyword, which means that they're in the market for the product service you're selling. The search network converts at the highest rate, and you pay a premium for your ad to show up in the search network since people are actively looking for what they think. So it could be between $1 and $5 per click. So we just did search engine marketing. Now this is display network. Your ads show up within articles. Google decides if they're related to the keyword target search. People are reading content related to the keyword and may not be actively searching for the solution. The display has a lower conversion rate and you pay less per click, which is good, but you have to remember that your conversion rate will be lower. So people might not be looking for what you've got, but it might be sort of related. So for example, you might be looking for Oodies online, but Oodie isn't remarketing to you because you might not fall into their demographic, but you might have searched for sleepwear for women and it will come up because it is content sort of relating to that. So who's been on social media and been remarketed to? You've looked for something on a website and then all of a sudden you go log into your social media and this is what appears. Or you feel like you've been talking about something and then you look online and you go, hang on, I just was talking about that. It's not actually Google listening to you. What it is Google collects a lot of data about you and your search history and what your search preferences are. And it creates opportunities for other advertisers of similar products or services to target you. A lot of it is coincidence. So if you think, oh my God, Google is listening to me. How did it know? I just said to my husband that we want to buy this and all of a sudden it's that. It's because it's relevant to your broader search history. It is also, in many instances, remarketing can appear like this. Have you gone and done some online shopping and filled up that cart and then abandoned the cart? Guilty. I do it all the time. I do it because I'm interested to see what I would buy and then I go, I'll reconsider that. You were then remarketed and retargeted by that advertiser to buy that product. So that's kind of what remarketing looks like. It's so weird when it happens, right? But this is why there is a lot of new, fresh scrutiny about the power of large tech companies as well, because there is scrutiny that probably needs to occur as well because of the amount of data that people have on all of us. So remarketing on Facebook is done through a Facebook Ads Manager account. It is not dissimilar to a Google AdWords account. All advertising on Google and Facebook costs money. You have to pay for it. One of the things about it though, it works. Google Ads work. I have made a lot of purchasing decisions based on that. I'm going to talk a little bit about online reviews. I'm just mindful about the time here. Online reviews are a really important part of digital marketing mix. And I know a lot of people come here and focus on social media because this is why we wanted to provide you something different, because social media is important, absolutely part of the important digital marketing mix. But a lot of this other stuff is really important. People neglect it. So online reviews. Customer opinions have the potential to influence other people's attitudes toward your business. It was communications via word of mouth in the past. So a Google review is someone saying, I think you are so good that I'm going to take 10 minutes out of my day to review you, or I'm going to review you on Facebook. Mass exposure due to the internet, which can build trust. Because really, if you sell a poor product, people will share that information. You want people to trust you and build that trust so people buy from you. It helps with your Google ranking. So we talked about this before. By being popular, not just with your SEO, but by people putting reviews up, helps you rank higher and higher. It's powerful and it's free. It's really good. Set up a section and encourage people to leave you a review. There's lots of other places that you can leave reviews other than Google. Airbnb, for example, is built on the power of reviews. It is crowdsourced information about the host experience, and it is a place of trust. So when other travelers have stayed there, you are automatically given an email at the end of your Airbnb experience to provide a review to that traveler and to that experience, and the traveler is then given a review as well. So you mutually rate each other. Airbnb has harnessed this power, and as customers, we rely on it to know whether it is a credible space to stay in. Other places for online reviews, Uber has built it on that. Amazon customer reviews, Choice Magazine, Trustpilot is another big one. Google My Business is probably the first one that I would suggest that you all have. Glassdoor, which is if you're an employer, people generally can review and rank your business. What kind of employer are you? TripAdvisor. So TripAdvisor was the original travel rating scheme, and Facebook. So with TripAdvisor years ago, I remember I neglected to look at the reviews of a place that we stayed in. My partner and I, we were backpacking and we were staying in Cambodia, and we just Googled a place, and I didn't go to TripAdvisor. I didn't look. And then when we got there, I was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this place is not what it said on the website. And then I went to TripAdvisor and everyone was saying, it is not what it says on the website. So I was like, why didn't I look at the reviews? Why didn't I just trusted the website because the business was telling me how fantastic they were, but I didn't actually look at the customers. So TripAdvisor is really, really powerful, and it can, like many of these, online reviews are very, very powerful, and they can potentially make a business and potentially break a business. So make sure that you focus on good quality reviews on whatever platform that you want to use it on, because it can help you in many ways. It can help with visibility. It can help with trust. And the thing is, if you give a good review to someone, it also feels good, right? It feels good. I gave a review to someone yesterday and I was very sincere about it, but it felt good because I was like, I'm supporting this business because they did a great job, and I felt like I was in good care, and this is the least I can do. Other than paying them the money that I did for their service, I just was like, you know what? It feels good to do it. So from a consumer point of view, it's good to review other people and provide that positive word of mouth that you can in a digital space, but it also helps the business succeed. So use it. Janine has asked, how do you handle bad reviews? This is a really great question. One of the things that I always talk about with negative customer experience is address the elephant in the room. One of the things that people hate most is being ignored. They want to be heard. That is why they've stuck their neck out to say, I'm really angry about this. So the first thing I would suggest, Janine, if someone leaves you a bad review on Facebook, the first thing you would do is you would take the time and thank them and say, you know, John, thank you so much for taking the time to leave this comment. It actually means a lot to us that you've done this because it's an opportunity for us to learn and grow. This is not the service that we hope to offer our customers, and I'm really disappointed that you had that experience with us. We will take this on board and we will address it with that staff member, or we'll make sure that the product is replaced. If you can send me a private message, I will either refund your money or we can talk about ways that we can turn this around for you. Firstly, they've publicly embarrassed you and puts kind of a bit of shade on your business. You need to publicly address it. If you show that you're a business that takes feedback seriously, you can turn it around. The worst thing you can do is be combative and say, well, you were terrible and you shouldn't be doing this and blah, blah, blah. That's not great. Handling bad reviews is a bit like dealing with a difficult customer in real life, to be honest. You need to take it on the chin, and if you can't resolve it, you can't resolve it, but at least demonstrate professionalism and a certain etiquette. Never, ever come back and just say, well, you're a stupid person and I don't believe you. Like, never do that. Just people want to be heard. Let them acknowledge their feelings about it, and then either apologize and just turn it around. Because most of the time, if you acknowledge it, people go, well, thanks so much for that, Janine. I really appreciate you listening to me. Good. And they go, good. Well, she heard me. That's good. Fantastic. It calms them down. It is really no different to how you would deal with a customer face-to-face. I would not recommend hiding online reviews, and you cannot do that. There's a certain etiquette that, why would you do that? No business is perfect. I mean, of course, we want glowing 5-star reviews 100% of the time, but it shows real integrity within your business as Karen said, US, the voice of the business speaks volumes. If you stand by correcting incidences and show that you will grow from it, that says so much about the business and you as a business owner. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, Kristen is saying, and it's absolutely true. The social proof. Years ago, many years ago, when I was working for another agency, I was director of comms for this agency, and one of their customers was a very challenging but highly popular restaurant. And their online reviews were appalling, absolutely appalling, scathing. And I'd eaten at that restaurant a number of times and I'd had a few drinks there, and I can absolutely see why the customers were so angry. The owner of the establishment treated customers with disdain. They came in and it was almost like they were inconveniencing him. And people left, peed off. They were damn angry about it, and they took to social media week after week. Sundays, Mondays, you'd come in and you go, wow, 5 new poor reviews. Unbelievable that people like that we had to turn this around. And his approach was, well, just delete it. And our approach was, no, we need to fix it. We need to show that you're actually doing something about it. And we would respond to every single one. And mostly we could talk people from 100 down to 60, down to 40. But most people were angry, and it's because there was no systematic change within the organisation. But addressing the problem, the first problem was people felt angry and they wanted to be heard and they wanted to be acknowledged. Then you could drop it down a notch. But it's really important that you respond. Equally, as Kristen said, equally as important to respond to the good ones. Thank you so much for your experience. We really love hearing this. This helps motivate us as a business to keep doing better for you. Can't wait to see you again. Thanks for your review. It's social currency. Social media is not just about you pushing out a message and hoping you get 5,000 likes. Absolutely not. It's called social media for a reason. It is about a currency and exchange of ideas. You can learn. Use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Do not be ashamed of making mistakes. The best business people to be around are the people that learn and value input. I certainly don't know everything. I don't even pretend to know everything. But I love when people give me an idea so I can collaborate. And you know what? People are flattered when you say, look, I actually really welcome this feedback because we could do better. And you taking the time out of your day to acknowledge that has made me feel like I've got a lot to learn. So thank you, John, for your 1-star review, because we're taking this as an opportunity to learn. What can you learn from that? So, yeah. Kristen's saying, depending on the situation with bad reviews, I'm not afraid to include a little bit of what we have loved to have known during your stay so that we could have had this opportunity to solve your problem issue. Yes, that's right. It's always just hear people out. That's all people want. They want to be heard. I hope that answers your question. It's a big one. And usually, comms teams spend a lot of time nuancing phrases. I know I've spent a fair amount of time in my professional life really shaping a response so people feel acknowledged and heard, and that the business's reputation is salvaged. You don't want, nothing worse than people just clapping back at you. Don't let your ego drive the change your business needs. How to get more reviews? Ask for them. Make it apparent to all your customers that they have a voice in how you do your business. Ask them. Promote not only online but also in print and in store. So there's one thing that we did a few years ago is after we'd sort of finished a major project with a client, we used MailChimp and we sent them a cute little campaign, which was a picture of the Golden Girls, and it was some of our sort of branded graphics around it. And in it we said, thank you for being a friend. We really appreciate working with you on this project. It's been, great for us, and we're really happy to get it out into the world. If you've got 5 minutes of your time, could you give us a review on Google, a review on Facebook, and let your friends and family know? And because it was cute and it was fun and it was positive, people would respond and people would do it. So we use MailChimp to re-engage with our customers, to keep us front of mind. We asked them to do a call to action. The call to action was give us a review. We'd love it. Thank you so much for working with us and choosing us. We'd love a little review. That's what Airbnb does. They send you an email at the end of the experience saying, so tell me about your stay at Y River. Tell me about your stay at that fancy hotel. They ask you to review it. Ask people to review your service. Use that as part of your marketing mix. You might be focusing solely on Instagram and Facebook and not getting any results. Maybe you need to think about this as an alternative. I hope this is broadening your idea about what digital marketing could be for your business. Get more reviews. Ask satisfied customers for reviews. So sign up for a service that automatically emails all of your clients to ask for the reviews. We use MailChimp. We didn't automate it. We did it manually after we'd send an invoice. The next day, we'd send them a review. This increases the odds that happy customers will take the time to sing your praises online. An example is you can use Question Pro or MailChimp. Okay. Encourage people to read reviews. So display a link or a button on your website, your Facebook page, or anywhere else that you have an online presence. So you might be having a hard time getting a customer or a client across the line. You might send them a portfolio of work or a presentation, or you might have a pitch or whatever. But what you can say is, look, that's fine. I appreciate you might need a little bit more time. If you've got 5 minutes, please head to our Google page, because we have 100% 5-star reviews, and I'm sure that might help you get you over the line. So you want people to know that it's there. Google My Business. So I wanted to show you what this is. So this is a children's bookstore called Squishy Mini, and they are very, very popular. They have 51 Google reviews that are 4.9 stars. Amazing. So what they've got here is they've got photos, temporary closed because of COVID, but this is when you Google a business, this is what should come up. A location. If you work from home, if you're a micro business, you can do suburb base. And what will happen is, in order to create a Google My Business account, Google needs to authorize that you are an actual business. So they'll send out a little postcode that has an authorization code. So they actually do need an address. So you can get it sent to your local post office, or you can get it sent to your home. But if you don't want to show your address, you don't have to show your address. But this shows, I just wanted to show you what this is. So when you Google My Business, it's got the website, it's got their Facebook and their Instagram. So the top hits are the things that most people find. So they have a lot of followers on both social media accounts. So you see here that the reason that Facebook ranks higher than Instagram is because they have more followers on Facebook than they do on Instagram. So it shows the popularity. Google favors popularity. It's not because the SEO is better, it's because Google favors popularity. Just be popular. That's what we keep saying. And then the name, and then it's got here, you can put as many photos as you want. Health and safety. So it's actually got here what they're doing currently for health and safety, so people understand. They've got COVID-19 updates that they're doing for the business, and you can do other little updates for your own business as well. So you can almost treat it like a little blog. So you could just say, we're having some time off for COVID, or whatever it is that you want to say. But it's a way for you to be found. So this little children's bookshop in regional Victoria has 51 Google reviews. So if you're looking for children's bookshops in Victoria, this will hit pretty high. And this is through organic SEO, not SEM. So other ones you might look for, children's bookshops will be paid advertising. This will hit pretty high. With Google My Business, really straightforward. Just go to business.google/create and follow the prompts. Really easy. It will just basically click you through a process. So find and manage your business. So type your business name, then next, and then next. If you haven't got a Google My Business account, I recommend that's the first thing you do after we've gone off this session today. Other than having some lunch and having a much needed toilet break, I would suggest you do this, because out of your digital marketing mix, this potentially can have broader impacts on being found on social media, being found in person, and this one is free. It's just the opportunity cost, your time to do it. So why do Google My Business? Good for SEO ranking. I've said it once and I've said it twice, but you need to think about your digital marketing mix is about people finding you. Reviews can help boost the business. displays on the first page, even if your website doesn't. So if your website doesn't land on the first page, it will come up on there. Your competitors are on it. There's another reason to do it. Well, if someone else is selling the same product or service in my neighbourhood, I need to be found. If I'm competing with John Smith Lawn Mowing and I'm Lee Sandwith Lawn Mowing, I want to be found. I don't want them to go to John. I want them to come to me. Why? Not because I give a better cut, but I'm the only me, and they will enjoy the service that I give them. GPS directions to your location, really important. So if you have a bricks and mortar shop, you want people to find your location. You can share more about your business. So Google's really changing the value of Google My Business these days. You can add photos. You can it's almost like a little mini blog where you can put business updates on it so people know what's going on. Benefits of online reviews. So here's something interesting, and these came from sort of a few different sources which I've put there. So 85% of consumers trust online reviews as much as word of mouth recommendations. So remember when I was telling you the little anecdote about when I went to Cambodia and I'm like, why didn't I look at TripAdvisor before I booked this? Because I would have trusted those reviews, because the review said the photos on the website do not look anything like what this hotel looks like. 93% of people say that online reviews can actually influence their buying decision. Has anyone looked at online reviews and made a decision based on reviews? I have, I do. I trust that people, when they take the time out of their day to review a business, that they mean it. What else would they do? Unless it's someone else, harnessing their family and friends to just do it. But really, I would trust the reviews. 86% of consumers read reviews for local businesses, including 95% of people between the age of 18 and 34. So think about who your customers are and why they would read it. Reviews help need more time, less stress. Someone else has done that decision making for them. We're going to talk a little bit about location-based marketing. We're not going to cover this too much, but this is another thing to think about within your your digital marketing mix. For the app developer in here, you might know a little bit about this because it's used quite a lot in app advertising as well. So what do location-based services offer? So simple location-based services provide a list of businesses that match your current search terms, along with basic information about those businesses. So Google My Business uses location-based marketing. So if you have a geolocation, like a shop or a restaurant or a library service or whatever it is, it helps people find it. You can also deliver messages to customers and potential customers when they're physically close to your business. So there's different types of location-based services that you can use. So you can use geo-targeting, which permits businesses to send personalized messages to customers in particular geographical areas. So for example, you might have, this is geo-targeting and geo-fencing, which I'll talk about. Retailers can fix a virtual perimeter around their physical stores. So when opt-in customers enter the area, a message is triggered to their device. And beacons, so they're low-energy Bluetooth devices that retailers use in-store or install in their shops to target customers with very high accuracy. So, for example, if you use a certain like you might use Mecca Cosmetics and might have the app on your phone. If you go into Melbourne Central, where there's a Mecca store, you might get pinged by geofencing to let you know that there's an online sale when you're there. This is how location-based services work. So you can be targeted by your location. Here's an example of what a beacon might do. So you might be walking through a store and you might like Just Jeans app, or you might have a targeted one, but it's opt-in, so you have to actually like the brand anyway. A beacon will go off as you go past. It will actually pick up on that, and it will say, hey, 25% off jeans and shirts just because you're one of our followers. So it's a way for people to build loyalty, but it's also a way for people to go, well, she's nearby, we might as well let her know. Benefits. It's an efficient, measurable way to increase sales. And it relies on smartphones that allow users to access rich internet features wherever they are, and GPS technology that enables services to pinpoint locations of mobile devices and businesses. So I've got a little case study here about Urban Spoon. This is really good location-based marketing is really good for food and restaurants. So particularly if you're looking for things like Thai food near me, that kind of thing. So the GPS on your smartphone locates nearby restaurants. Hungry customer picks a restaurant, they can call ahead or book, and then the customer can click on the map GPS provided for directions. So we've probably all interacted with this type of marketing before, geographical or geolocation marketing, particularly for food and restaurants, and sometimes accommodation. If you're not a planner and you do things on the fly, that would be a way that you would do that. But food and a lot of that kind of consumable kind of food stuff, yeah, sure. Here's a bit of a continuation. So you display other info, so links to Facebook and the website. The customer can add photos or food and engagement themselves. So a lot of people use Urban Spoon to share food photos, and then the customer can leave reviews, good or bad. Sorry, this is the one that I meant for the app developer. In-app advertising. So we know like the popularity of free apps and mobile games has also given rise to mobile ads and ad networks. Anyone that has children who use smart devices knows that a lot of the games have inbuilt apps in them. Mobile app advertising is a way for app developers to make money, and it will serve ads in the app. So it might be free for you to use the app, but someone's got to pay for the app. The app doesn't just stay up by itself. There needs to be servicing and updates to the app. Ads pay for that, yeah? And it also pays the developer to do that. So you've probably seen them quite a lot. Examples here. So advertising on music streaming sites and podcasts. So music streaming services like Spotify, if you don't pay for it, there's in-app advertising. So that's a way for people to make revenue. TikTok, you probably noticed TikTok, probably every 20 scrolls will have an ad. Free games and news sites, they're all in-app advertising. And that's just a little example of what you might see. Here's how you can do some proactive marketing. Might not be legal, but it's just a little example. It's about predicting what your customer might need beforehand. So Dean's saying, this is a great way for food traders to prompt customer purchases direct and not rely on international platforms who take 30% commission. Absolutely, absolutely. It's really encouraging to know that there is a movement to support more localized players in this space. I'm aware of a couple of businesses who support food traders who have a similar model to like the Deliveroos, but don't gouge, like much less, like 7%. They'll take 7%, which is probably a good cost benefit to the restaurants and the food traders, because for 7%, someone does all their marketing and all their e-commerce. So you go, well, that's actually not too bad, but 30% is huge. We're about to wrap it up, so I'm just going to get here some other useful government websites. If you want to know more about digital marketing, please go to business.gov.au. Melbourne Innovation Digital Solutions is the Australian Small Business Advisory Services, brought to you by the federal government at the business.gov.au. There is an incredible amount of online resources here if you want any more information on that. I have time for questions, but in the meantime, while you type your questions, I will scoot through this so we've got more time to talk. But if you're interested in any of the mentoring services, please reach out to Melbourne Innovation. There is incredible talent within this Melbourne Innovation ecosystem, lots and lots of amazing mentors. I myself, as a business owner, has taken up the opportunity because I qualified, and I have had nothing but positive experiences. I love the mentees that I work with. It is my absolute honour and privilege to be working with small businesses in Australia and Victoria. I'm really passionate about all of our success and sharing knowledge. So if you're interested in taking up this opportunity, please reach out to Melbourne Innovation. My name is Lee. I am from the Good Hands, but please, I'm here for questions. Talk to me. anything that I haven't covered, I hope you have found today to be informative, but maybe I've opened your eyes up to seeing digital marketing as something beyond just having a Facebook account, because it really is an opportunity for you to get it right. It isn't always about social media. Make sure that you understand that your business is in your hands, and you need to think about who is your customer and what is the best way to reach them. Don't waste your time just pushing out social media without thinking about the other opportunities. Oh, I'm so, Janine, that is the best feedback. It is not scary anymore. Good, because it shouldn't be scary. Digital marketing really is just about stepping it through. Someone's just asked for my details to be put up there. It is really about stepping through basics. Who is my customer? Why am I trying to fix the problem for them? And that's half the battle. Marketing is confusing to people because they think they need to be doing everything. You don't. Just do one or two things really, really well. Align them to the goals of your business. Thank you, Chi. Thank you, Andrea. I'm really pleased that people are taking the time to see that there's other opportunities for their business. Social media is an important part of the mix, but we've only touched on it very briefly today because it is absolutely important that you understand that digital marketing is got opportunities other than an Instagram post. Dean, I am one of the mentors, so please reach out to Melbourne Innovation if you are interested in mentoring from me. Thank you, Teresa. Wonderful to have you. There is a feedback form that we would love you to fill out, because without your feedback, we can't actually provide wonderful webinars like this for you. So if you can click on the link at the top of the chat, that would be really, really wonderful. Your feedback is really, really important to us. These questions are coming thick and fast. Let me just answer them. Our website is currently in development. If you're interested in reaching out to me, can you do it through Melbourne Innovation? That would be fantastic. Other marketing platforms, I worry about customers seeing some as dated or old. For example, LinkedIn. Do you think this is the case? LinkedIn is absolutely not outdated. I have found talent through LinkedIn. LinkedIn is professional to professional. It is a relationship-making website. I use it quite regularly, and I've had job opportunities. People come to qualify me through that. So LinkedIn is not an outdated platform. Thank you, everyone, for your time. I'm going to be here for a few more questions. The feedback form has a question, has a first question I'm not sure is right. Let me click on that and just... you're right, Francisco, just that feedback form has not been updated, just as a bit of feedback to you. For the workshop attended, if you just want to click on, I think the feedback form hasn't been updated. My apologies. I will let Melbourne Innovation know that. But I'm going to be here for a few more minutes if anyone else has any other questions. What are the SEO strategies? Emmy, my suggestion to you is that we, through Melbourne Innovation, run some SEO sessions. Use that opportunity to jump on the next time we have a webinar on that, and we can go deeper and deeper into SEO for you. SEO is something that people feel very, very threatened by. They go, oh my gosh, it's too complex. Really, it's about being popular and your keywords. Always thinking about what your customers are looking for, not what you think they're looking for. What are they looking for? Mohammed, the question about the slides, yes, they will come from Melbourne Innovation. I believe they'll send you a post presentation. They'll send you the slides. Thank you so much for everyone for being here today. I understand that it's a tough time in Victoria, but I hope that you have. I'm glad that you're doing something for yourself and joining me here today. It's been an absolute pleasure for being here. I'm going to wrap it up in 1 minute. Karen, is this, sorry, keyword or key phrase, is this in relation to some of these we might have to do offline, or people might need to follow up with another webinar that's very specifically related to SEO. I believe, Janine, I believe you will now be on Melbourne Innovation's newsletter. Hong, thank you so much for being with us today. It has been my absolute pleasure. I'm going to wrap this up at my end. If you haven't taken the time to fill out the survey, please do. But I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful day. Get out for a walk. Do something nice for yourself this afternoon. All the best, and thanks again.